Fight!
Oh, hello. I'm Duke Smoochum. Happy Valentine's Day month. I was just about to check out what kind of chocolates my girlfriend got me for Valentine's Day 2 weeks ago, which was really nice of her considering I forgot to get her anything. But since you're here, I want to tell you about this insane game I've been playing lately. It really fits the Valentine's Day month theme. Chulip! Okay, I don't actually have the physical copy of the game, but I'll explain later. Let's just... video games.
From the title screen, which shows a dog taking a leak on a tree, you'd assume you're in for a bizarre experience. And you'd be right. Chulip is one of the weirdest, craziest, mind-bendingest, frustratingest, Japanesiest games I've ever played. And that's saying something. In short, this game isn't just bananas, it's space bananas. Chulip was originally released for the PlayStation 2 in Japan in 2002 and was the first game developed by a baker's dozen of people at a small game company called Punchline and was published in North America in 2007 by Natsume. Serious. Fun! The name Chulip is a Japanese pun that works on multiple levels because not only is it the Japanese pronunciation of tulip, but chu also means kiss, and you do it with your lips, so that's a triple meaning. How would you know that? Unless you know some Japanese, you probably wouldn't, but get used to that because there's some Japanese language throughout the game that isn't really explained, even though it was localized in North America, which apparently was due to its rushed release despite multiple delays. For example, there's a lot of Japanese left untranslated and Japanese puns that won't make sense to foreigners, like why this character is called Yadzilla or Yojira and why that's funny, but it has to do with Godzilla and the number 4 and yeah, good luck with that. Chulip is an adventure game, similar to a point-and-click adventure, but without all of that annoying pointing and clicking. The point of the game is to kiss the girl of your dreams, and as you'd expect, the game is as funny and zany as its story. Tiptoe through the tulips. The game starts with a dream sequence where the main character, a young boy, dreams of kissing his dream girl, only to wake and find that it wasn't real. Back in the real world, he's just moved with his dad to a new town where his dream girl actually happens to live, but she hates him because he's poor and has a low social status. In order to improve your reputation, you'll have to kiss the residents above and below. Wait, I mean, the residents live above and underground, literally. Nothing weird. In order to kiss your dream girl, you'll have to enlist the help of Earthbound's Mr. Saturn. Or maybe his cousin, if he was crossed with Seaman, I don't know. He says he'll help you write her a love letter, sealed with a kiss. Unfortunately, you're crap at writing. And even more unfortunately, Mr. Uranus's buddies, a talking tombstone, a sentient street sign, a moving metal barrel and the like, have taken to love ink, paper, and pen, so you'll have to chase them and endure a number of irritating errands in order to write a better letter to get her. Your dream girl, that is. The main game mechanic revolves around finding a way to kiss everyone and everything, and I mean everything, in order to gain experience to bump up your reputation in the town. Since making out is the name of the game, there's a designated kiss button, and other than that, the control is simple. Aside from getting caught in another character or on a piece of geometry and not being able to run until you acquire the ability later on, I have no complaints in this area. Pucker up and get ready to kiss Onion Lady! A retired bucket. And a blender, why not? You get so caught up in trying to kiss everyone that it's easy to forget that the actual goal of the game is to kiss the girl of your dreams, but you can't just go straight from home to first base. Take a swing before you're ready and get struck out. Run your mouth and give some lip service to everything, young and old, male and female, man and beast. It's a good thing you can't get mono in this game because you'd probably end up with stereo at that rate. STDs aside, the kissing game is a dangerous one because getting someone to give you a smack can require a lot of effort and you risk getting smacked. Move in for a kiss at the wrong time and you'll get rejected. Hard. If you can manage to kiss up to the resident enough and steal a kiss and tell, you'll be on your way to elevating your reputation from poor boy, up the ranks to handsome boy, to player, and beyond. Not only do you have to kiss people that you can see walking around the town, you also have to kiss people that live underground. Sheesh, why's it gotta be so creepy? Yeah, well, over half the residents are subterranean, and they come out only during certain times of the day or night. How would you know when they come out? Well, with the exception of a few that give you times or hints, you don't. You see, Chulip is a bit like Animal Crossing for a few reasons. The characters speak in gibberish, although it's basically jumbled up Japanese, so it's not straight up Banjo-Kazooie status. You also have to run a bunch of errands around the place in order to complete certain objectives, and there's an in-game clock that dictates when certain events happen. Fortunately, it's not real time, or the game would just take a lifetime to complete, but it takes 30 seconds for an in-game hour to pass. That's a pretty cool idea for a game that came out about a year after Animal Crossing, but it doesn't do the time aspect as well because there's very little in-game direction as far as what you're supposed to do and when, which results in a lot of hurry up and wait once you finally do know what you're supposed to do. Fortunately, there are a few ways around this because you can always go home and go to bed, speed up time by reading a comic book while waiting for a train, and eventually you can go to bed and wake up at a specific time much later in the game when you find the underground resident that will fix your broken alarm clock for you. However, when you're on a mission and you want to do just one thing in particular, waiting for the right time gets to be pretty tedious. Speaking of tedious, kissing the residents can be as simple as walking up to them when they're in a good mood, to as complicated as running errands to other towns and needing to kiss other characters first before even attempting to kiss a certain person or thing. As fun as it can be to solve the puzzle of how to give someone a peck, the solution is often counterintuitive and convoluted to say the least. To be honest, if it wasn't for the fun and peculiar atmosphere of Chulip, I probably never would have played through it because I usually dislike adventure games, especially those of the point-and-click variety with a few exceptions because of this very reason. It often seems like you need to be able to read the mind of the game designer rather than do what comes naturally. They're often just not intuitive games, and that frustrates me. So much so that when I was playing Normality around the same time I was playing Duke Nukem 3D as a kid, I had this absurd dream where Duke Nukem 3D was an adventure game and you could click on a spider and he'd say something in a Duke Nukem voice like, "What do you want me to do? Hold its hand?" Followed by an in-dream cutscene where they did just that, holding hands and skipping until the spider turned and ate Duke. Must have been a fever dream. But in this game, stuff like that actually happens. Things you'd never even think of will hurt you or kill you out of friggin' nowhere. There's unexpected death around every corner. I did not expect. As fantastically funny, crazy cute, freaking far out, and delightfully demented as Chulip can be, the lack of in-game help is really the kiss of death. For example, when you're trying to learn how to kiss one of the residents, you need to watch them to find out what time they're around, what they're doing, and also you need to know where to kiss them. Well, I mean, you kiss them on the mouth, but never mind, you know what I mean. If you try to kiss the resident at the wrong time, they will smack you a good one, and not with their mouth. This can take up a lot of hearts, and even kill you if you're not strong enough to withstand the attack. In order to endure stronger attacks, you can level up and earn more hearts by kissing the residents, but at first it's easy to die because you have so few hearts and you can lose so many so easily and frequently, which can be very discouraging until you know what you're doing. As if getting a game over wasn't enough, one of these guys will come by and add insult to injury by kicking you while you're down or rubbing it in. Literally. Residents aren't the only potential danger in this game, and when you're starting out, you feel like everything is out to get you, and, well, it is. A simple dive in the dumpster for items, stroll through the town, or walk in the park can become game over without much effort. Not really a walk in the park after all. Aside from that, there's a lot of trial and error and luck needed to get through the game. Critical items can show up by chance, and outcomes of certain scenarios are completely left to chance, so you may have to redo something even if you knew what you were intending to do. This can lead to a lot of lost time and frustration because you may have to wait an entire in-game day or 12 minutes for that event to occur again. You will be punished repeatedly until you either learn what you're supposed to do, or you'll have to resort to using a walkthrough, either online or by following the instruction booklet that accompanied the physical copy of the game. Yes, the instruction booklet actually serves as a walkthrough because they knew there wasn't enough in-game help to be successful and you'd be lost without it. For example, the game ends with a giant cat asking you literally 20 questions about mundane facts hidden throughout the game like, the phone number to the Yabu hospital shown on this billboard, and the main character's weight, if you would even think to document such information. There is a decent amount of grinding in the game that comes in the form of trying to find items to either sell, use for an objective, and of course, kissing residents to level up and earn money, but there is a set number of residents throughout the game, and you can only kiss them once, so you cap out at level 10. Health is lost whenever you're heartbroken by funny things like witnessing a chicken get killed, reading a bad comic book for 12 hours, or someone saying something discouraging to you. The game has a lot of potty humor, and since I'm a 12-year-old, that's right up my alley. You save your game by going to the bathroom. There's a poster for a movie called Fart Woman, and one of the dangers of searching through the trash and other places is encountering a poopy, big poopy, or huge poopy. Luckily, you can heal your heart through similarly funny ways, such as washing that poopy off your hands, sitting and thinking about a good meal, or getting a surprise shiatsu massage from a burly guy in a park in the middle of the night. You can, of course, heal yourself more practical ways like eating a cold potato you found in the trash or heart chocolates, but that's just not as fun or funny. Even when you're frustrated that you died, you usually died hilariously, which takes some of the sting out of it at least. Some of the scenes are really unexpected and funny, but some of them are also a bit disturbing and might catch you off guard. In general, this game is a bit slow-moving and not especially action-packed, but it's moments like these that breathe a kiss of life into it and really make it a charming and enjoyable game despite its flaws. Style is what this game really has going for it, and it has style in spades. The town and character design is odd but strangely fitting. The environment is meant to look like everyday Japan in a small town in the 1960s, but is filled with these great unusual characters like the main character, who I think looks sorta like a sock monkey. Proof that the character design is remarkable, my mom walked by while I was playing this game and asked me if the main character is supposed to be a monkey based on how he looked and moved, and while he's not, the similarity is pretty funny and made me feel justified in my sock monkey comparison. Every character looks like a caricature artist rendering of a real person or possibly a bobblehead toy of some kind. Although the North American release was supposed to get a graphic overhaul that it never received, overall the game looks pretty good despite being a very early Japanese PS2 game thanks to its heavily stylized and goofy aesthetic which matches the silly story and music. Speaking of the music, Hirofumi Taniguchi's soundtrack is super fun and original. A lot of the music contains vocals with no actual words, but instead is done in a doo-wop a cappella style. My mom overheard the music while I was playing and asked if it was supposed to be like a barbershop quartet mixed with Louis Armstrong, who is actually one of the video game musician's influences, along with the other jazzy tracks, and I thought her description was spot on. There's also a throwback to Japanese Kayo Kyoku style singing, which is basically Japanese pop that began around the 1950s, but in this game, it's actually nonsense instead of being sung in real Japanese. Aside from the aforementioned barbershop quartet Louis Armstrong track, my favorite track is the one that plays in the bathhouse and sounds like it's singing just the tip. Just tip. Just tip. The music is not what you typically hear in most video games, and the kazoos and goofy sound effects further develop the idiosyncratic quality of the game. If the game doesn't make you laugh, it'll at least make you smile or say WTF out loud. I mean, you will actually say those letters. So how did this oddity come to be then? Why a game about kissing? Well, it turns out that the director Yoshiro Kimura wanted to make a game about kissing in public after traveling in Europe and being surprised by seeing people kiss in public, which is not at all socially acceptable in Japan. Despite the wacky presentation and strange content in Chulip, the director actually wanted to tackle some serious real-life topics in the game, such as social pressure and other issues in Japan, such as the increase in hikikomori, or extreme shut-ins, just like the ones depicted as underground residents. Feeling trapped in your life and trying to find your own happiness are recurring themes throughout the game. Pretty deep for a game where pulling poopy out of a dumpster is commonplace. Surprisingly, after creating Chulip, Punchline went on to develop the rare and disturbing horror game Rule of Rose, which is really at the polar opposite end of the spectrum. Despite Kimura wanting Chulip to be released outside of Japan to show the world certain aspects of Japanese culture, as you'd expect, Chulip had a hard time coming out in the West and came out over 4 years after the Japanese game was released. Chulip was released in North America the day before Valentine's Day in 2007, and then it remained a GameStop exclusive until it was released on PSN in 2012. I remember seeing this in GameStop and took note of it because it seemed like something that would be right up my alley and decided I'd get it later, but I never actually saw a physical copy in person after that and regretted it for years until I saw it on PSN. Nowadays, a physical copy goes for around $50, but surprisingly it's not especially rare considering its GameStop exclusivity. Somewhat unsurprisingly, I suppose, Chulip was originally received with a mediocre critical reception and very poor game sales, selling under 7,000 copies during its first week in Japan, but was inexplicably re-released twice in Japan despite the low scores and sales. I never understand how games like this are localized in the US, but I'm grateful when a company is willing to take a chance for better or worse because it gives gamers like me a chance to play a truly unique and quirky game like this that would normally stay in Japan forever. Like I said, adventure games like this usually aren't my thing, but Chulip is original, charming, and offbeat enough for me to still enjoy it despite the often overly difficult and unexplained gameplay. In fact, I plan to go back and plant one on the residents I missed because I know that I missed some cool scenes and music as a result of rushing to the end, and you can beat the game without kissing all 50 residents, which allows for some decent replayability. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this game to just anybody, especially since the severe lack of in-game help is such a massive barrier to entry, but if you like bonkers Japanese games like I do and are willing to follow a walkthrough more or less verbatim, you might want to hand over the $10 to PSN for the privilege of playing one of the weirdest games you'll probably ever play.
So there you have it, Chulip, the game about kissing. Now if you'll excuse me, I want to see what kind of chocolates my girlfriend bought me for Valentine's Day.